Hello honorees, welcome to Workout Wednesday here at Honors Golf. Stretching and physical exercise are a key factor for the top golf performers at all levels. We wholeheartedly agree, and we will highlight influencers who have a much greater expertise than our team. Each Wednesday, we plan to present stretches or exercise routines that will increase your mobility and strength, which in turn should increase performance. The love of the game does take sacrifice, and taking time to increase fitness is a worthy sacrifice. Time to lace them up.
We've had a lot of golfers ask us, what are the best band exercises you can do? What are the best things you can do when you're traveling? How do you get a good workout in if all you have is a band? So we figured, why not just show you in this one video a perfect workout that you can do to hit every body part you need for your golf game to make you better. So what we're going to do today is walk you through 6 exercises to hit just about every movement that you need, specifically to help your golf game, but also just to help get you stronger so you feel better and play better on the course. We're going to start out today by doing a lower body exercise that's a little more geared towards the quadriceps, but it's going to hit a little bit of everything in the leg. And that's going to be a split squat. We talk a lot here at 18 Strong about different movements that you want to do. Mainly the pressing and pulling of the upper body, the lunging or squatting exercises for the lower body, hinging or deadlift style motions or hip extension motions, and then also the core related and rotational exercises. We're also going to throw in a shoulder exercise today because most golfers that I've seen struggle to keep their posture and could definitely benefit from improving their shoulder strength, their scapular strength, their rotator cuff strength to help deliver more power and consistency through the ball. So let's start out with the split squat. This is again going to be a lower body exercise, primarily for the quads, the ankle. It's going to hit a lot of different areas of the lower body. What we're going to do is get in our basic traditional split squat position, which is just one foot in front of the other, nice and tall posture. And then in order to incorporate the band here, what you're going to do is go all the way down into the bottom position of your split squat. And you'll see the band has a little bit of slack on it. What I want you to do is wrap your hands around the band so you've got a little bit of tension on it. And now from there you can just pull straight back up, and that's going to create a little bit more tension than if you were just doing body weight. Just nice and tall, shoulders are back, and then as always you're going down nice and slow, and then come up with a little speed. So you're working on your balance, you're working on your tempo, and we're working on nice good form. Always keeping the knee in a nice straight angle. You don't want it to go inside. It can go out just a little bit. You could also change up the resistance here by taking the handles of the band and putting them up by your chest and shoulders, and that way it's just a little different technique. It's going to create a little more tension in the upper body, and you can use it that way too. So this is kind of getting the entire body working, but again, it's more of a lower body driven exercise. Now, many times when I do a lower body exercise, especially a split squat or a squat, I'll pair that or superset that with a rowing type exercise. So this is going to be a little bit more upper body. It's going to be that pulling motion. So I'm just going to throw this around the bar here and create just a nice traditional row. Feet are square, nice good squeeze when I get to the back, squeezing the shoulder blades. I could also change this to just one arm to make this a little bit more difficult, and I could do it 2 different ways. I could do it in what I would call an anti-rotation fashion, where I'm keeping everything nice and square here. I'm not letting my body rotate. I'm keeping my legs square on this one. Then I could also do it in a rotating fashion. Many times I'll stagger the feet a little bit for this one, and I'll create a little bit of a rotation with that rowing motion, and then I would do that on the opposite side also. Either way, whatever you want to do, just make sure you create some sort of a pulling motion in this exercise routine. Now for the hamstrings, the glutes, the hinging exercise, the hip extension exercise, what we're going to do is create kind of a deadlift style motion, which you know we're a big fan of here, but for the sake of the exercise we're going to use the band to show you a way that you can create a little different tension in your deadlift. So this would be called a pull through, and it's kind of a funny looking exercise, so don't giggle while watching. But you're gonna grab the rubber band, take it between the legs, and you're gonna, I like to hold it just at the base of the handle here. I'm gonna wrap my hand right around each side of the tube, and then I'm gonna scoot forward so there's some tension in my shoulders, tension in the arms, and you'll see I'm almost kind of leaning forward a little bit here. So the idea is to just create a hinging motion, where you're going straight back and then pulling straight up and through. Just like your deadlift. If I rotate to the side here a little bit, you might get a little better visual. So I'm not using my arms to pull the band forward. What I'm doing is I'm letting the band pull my arms between my legs. I'm hinging, I'm feeling a stretch in the hamstrings here, and then from there I'm going to pull and I'm going to squeeze my glutes to make sure I'm getting a nice good contraction in the legs. So again, I'm letting it stretch, nice straight back, and then I'm pulling straight forward. So this is a great way for you to get that hinging and hip extension, which is really important. If you think about your golf posture, it's much the same. So you're going to create that tension throughout the body. We always put some sort of a pressing exercise in our routine when we're working the full body. So much like the row, actually you could kind of think of this as the opposite of the row. You're simply going to put the band around the pole or attach it to whatever you have, and you're going to rotate around so you can press the band away from you. You can do this with your feet square. You could do this with your feet staggered to create a little bit more leverage and a little more balance. And then also you could do it like I just did, both arms, or single arm. You'll have to adjust based on your band, what kind of tension, adjust back or forth, but then you can, again, do a single arm press, and you can do this in a rotating fashion, or you could do this square foot, and you could do it in an anti-rotation fashion. Again, where it's really working trunk, you're trying to prevent that rotational motion, so this is really helping create some stability, which is much like what you need to do during your golf swing. So you can play around with what style pressing exercise you do as well. As I mentioned earlier in the video, the shoulders are a huge component to a strong golfer that's going to be able to be consistent and also not get injured out on the course or off the course. So one of my favorite exercises, and it's a little rotation-y, so all the golfers love this one. Take the band, you're going to maybe wrap your hands around a little bit just to keep it from flopping all over the place. Spread it across your chest. I tend to hold my thumbs up in the air, kind of hold my hands like so, where I kind of wrap the band this way, and then I'll pull it out to the side here, and I'll hold it that way, or you can even just hold it hands this way and pull it straight across like that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hinge into my golf stance, and I'm going to rotate basically into my backswing. Now, as you see this from the front, I don't want to see you leaning back onto the back leg, or I'm sorry, the left leg here. This would be kind of like me rotating into my backswing. So I would be loading up that right leg here, and I want to see basically a nice straight line from left hand to right hand, and I want the band up against your chest. So I don't want to see you rotate and this come out this way. It's got to be up against the chest. Feel that leg torquing and rotating, sinking into that hip. You're going to do 5 to 10 of them to the right side, and then you'll do the exact same thing over to the left side. And while I'm calling this a shoulder exercise, this is really going to get a little bit of everything. The lower body, the trunk, the shoulders. It's going to work on your posture as well. And the final exercise of this little routine is something abdominal related, something core related. There's 2 different ways I'm going to show you with the band here today. We've seen this in other exercises or in other videos that we've done here at 18 Strong. This is called a pull-up press, where you've got the band hooked around the pole. You're going to step away so there's tension on the band, and now you're pressing away from you and pulling back in. It doesn't look like much, but the harder and more resistant this band is, as you press away from your body, this thing really wants to pull you that way, which really makes you use the abdominal muscles. So you can either do kind of a pulsing variation, or you could even hold out here in an isometric fashion for 20 to 30 seconds. And that's another really great one where you're going to feel that immediately. The other way you can do it, same setup, is instead of a pull-off, you're actually going to do a rotation. So this would just be a banded rotation, cable rotation, where you're rotating around and back. You'll notice I'm not keeping my hips totally still. I like to get a little bit of rotation, much like I would in the golf swing. So I'm creating a nice, secure base. My elbows are staying in front of my body, and I'm rotating around the body. My shoulders are really driving the motion. I'm not just throwing